Citizen. They are really making a lot of new watches that I think are very appealing. The TSUYOSA came out about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. That was a very big deal because it was an affordable integrated bracelet watch that was good looking, and it took on the likes of the TSUYOSA PRX. Even though it was less expensive, it hit above its weight class. Today, I have hands-on one of their newest arrivals in the TSUYOSA lineup. It is the Small Seconds. This gets a Small Seconds, a textured dial, an upgraded bracelet, and I think an upgraded movement as well. There's a lot that has gone into this watch. I'm really excited to show it to you guys. This is actually beautiful for the price. So let's flip the camera and take a look at the Citizen TSUYOSA Small Seconds. Citizen on fire. I really love a lot of the watches that they've been coming out with lately. This is definitely one of them. This is the TSUYOSA Small Seconds. They came out with a pilot's watch recently that's a GMT, that's automatic. It has a 9000 series in it. I think it's the 9052. It's their proprietary version of the 9075. I actually have that watch in for review as well. Very excited to make a video and show you guys that watch. However, today we're talking about the TSUYOSA, the Small Seconds, and there is one complication, and really not much of a complication, that I absolutely love. It is a Small Seconds. And on an integrated bracelet watch, for some reason, I think it looks spectacular. This also gets what I imagine is a pressed dial, but that pressed dial, that pattern that's put into the dial, is sort of concentric from the center of the dial outwards. It gets a little bit larger. I don't know what I would call the pattern. I will do plenty of close-ups so you can see what I'm talking about, but the pattern on this dial looks amazing, and they just did a great job. It looks so much more expensive than it actually is, and that is always a good thing. That Small Seconds is in silver. You have an orange second hand against that green, sort of a green, army green slate background. That's kind of the color of this dial. I think it works perfectly, the combination of that silver, that orange, and that green. You have applied indices. Those are batons, so they are filled with lume, and then you have stick hands. Those are filled with lume as well. No lume on the second hand, but again, this is technically a dress watch or a sports watch, so not that big of a deal. I would like to have a little bit of lume on there, but we will do a lume shot towards the end of the video. One of the things I like about the TSUYOSA is the hidden crown. So it's not completely hidden, so it's not hard to operate, but you have the crown here at 4 o'clock. It's sort of retractable. It doesn't actually physically retract, but it does sit really inside of the case, so it doesn't bother your wrist. This is a 40mm watch. You have about a 45mm lug to lug. However, on the bracelet, it's around 49mm. It's 11.5 or 11.6 millimeters thick. That's including the sapphire crystal. You have a display case back as well. That's pretty good. You have 50 meters of water resistance. The crown is small. I think it's 4.9 millimeters. That's kind of a good thing in this case because it's at the 4 o'clock position. And like I said, it's partially within the case, so it wears really comfortably. This gets a different bracelet from the TSUYOSA that came out about 2 years ago. That is a president style bracelet. So is this one. However, it doesn't taper as much, and you also get a different buckle. Now, the buckle here is a butterfly. So it is a double push button butterfly enclosure. It actually sounds really nice. It feels very solid. I would say actually a little bit more solid than the one that you got from the previous version of the TSUYOSA. Now, I believe they're selling those still, so you could still buy those, and I believe those are slightly cheaper than this. However, not a lot cheaper, and you are getting a lot of upgrades here in this bracelet. The bracelet is beautiful. You have polishing and brushing. You still get a pin and collar system for adjusting the bracelet, so the size of the bracelet you will actually have to use pin and collar. You do get a half link, but there is no micro adjust like you got on the previous version because obviously this is a butterfly class, but sounds really nice and very, very solid. Thickness, like I said, is 11 11.5 or 11.6 millimeters, but you do get to see the movement from the back, and the movement in this watch, I believe they call them Citizen Miyotas when they are actually in a Citizen branded watch, because they want to sort of make a distinction between the two. And I don't think this movement is available outside of the Citizen group currently. It is the 8322. It does hand wind, it does hack, and you do get 60 hours of power reserve. So that is actually very good. So since this is a small seconds version of the TSUYOSA, you get a slightly more busy dial. So what they did here was take the automatic that was on the bottom of the dial on the center seconds version of the TSUYOSA, and they moved the automatic underneath the Citizen name at the 12 o'clock. So right below the 12 o'clock, you have those beaver teeth for the 12 o'clock index. It says Citizen automatic, and then obviously right below the hand stack, above that 6 o'clock index, you have the small seconds. So very clean looking dial. It is not cluttered, and I think it works really well. On wrist today is my TSUYOSA. This is the yellow dial variant, a very popular version of the TSUYOSA. This is the center seconds version, I guess you would call it now. You also get that Cyclops and a date. And again, that is not present on the small seconds version. You don't get a date, and you don't get that Cyclops, obviously, because you're not getting a date. And there is no ghost date position. But very quickly, here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. It wears exactly the same as the other TSUYOSA that I just had on. However, it looks a lot more expensive. And I thought that the TSUYOSA, the previous version that I own, that yellow dial version, looks very expensive as it is in all the colors that they offer, but this looks really nice. In the comments, I actually posted twice on my Instagram with this specific watch, and I got a slew of comments of people saying that this is a higher end version of the TSUYOSA. Are they trying to go after Grand Seiko? Seiko cannot make, or do not make, or don't want to make a watch this well made, this good looking at $595. If Seiko offered something at that price, it usually has a hard Lex, a 4R movement. It doesn't look as good as this. Let's just leave it at that. This is a very good looking watch. There are some things that I would change about it. Number one, I would like this to taper more. I like a tapering bracelet. That is my personal opinion. So I would rather it be a little bit more tapered, like the first version that I was just showing you guys. And then I would like some sort of micro adjust, even if it's manual at this price. I get it, it's Citizen. You know, a little bit of manual micro adjust would be great rather than just half link. So that's the two moans that I would have about that. And that's based on the bracelet. I think they make straps for this as well. Actually, I'm positive that they do. And those are proprietary to this watch. I don't think you could use them on this watch because you have a different lug size. You could see that is different from this one. I think it's around 17 millimeters here. I would say it's probably around, I don't know, 10 millimeters or something like that. So definitely cannot use the same bracelets, but there you go. Lume is great on the watch. I wish there was a little bit of lume on the second hand. That is another complaint, but I think my complaints are really just personal to me. You know, the bracelet items and of course having lume on the second hand. Those are things that I like. That doesn't mean it's a deal breaker for anybody else. I think this is a fantastic watch. I would love to own this watch. I think it looks good. It looks a lot more expensive than it actually is, and that is a very good thing. Citizen have been listening to the public. They are listening to the people in the comments on videos like this. They are adding little features, changing little things about their watches that are making big differences for a lot of people. So Citizen have really stepped up their game, and they're coming out with watches like this where every detail has been paid attention to, and the price is still very reasonable. $595. I think you even get like a little free gift if you buy it through their website. And there are plenty of places where you can buy these watches. I'll put a link to the Citizen website down below. They have these in stock. Again, I don't know how long they will stay in stock because I think these are just starting to pick up some steam, and certain versions, the yellow dial version of the TSUYOSA sold out, and the Tiffany version as well. So I really like the blue dial version and this green dial version. I'm not sure what other colors they're going to be coming out with, but they've come up with a bunch of different colors. And there's a lot there. There's a lot that they are offering for under $600. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the texture on the dial? What do you think of the small seconds, the movement with 60 hours of power reserve? All of that good stuff. It's decorated, sapphire crystal, integrated bracelet. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.